The packet's called Werther's Original.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is one of them called?
So one is a Werther's.
The packet's Werther's, and one of them's a Werther's.
They belong to Werther.
Hey, I'm Kitt, and this is Lee, and welcome to Life Lemons Travel. We sold everything, left our jobs, and moved out of our flat to work, live, and travel in our Renault Kangoo. Her name is Peggy. Hit the subscribe button, turn on those notifications, and follow our journey as we explore Europe and figure out our new life on the road in a mini camper.
We noticed a bit of a whirring sound when we were driving, and it seems to have got a little bit worse. A decision about what we do next, whether we continue driving or we stick it out here and get it into a garage as soon as we can.
If we've learnt nothing else from sort of Instagram and TikTok and stuff with people who live in a van, it's that there are ups and downs all the time.
Yeah.
But fortunately the pros always outweigh the cons, so we're just riding the wave.
But in the meantime, what else do you do other than feed yourselves?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you guys. I guess this might be a long enough stretch. What was that, about 15 miles an hour?
Which is in.
Still doing it.
Still happening, yeah. Yeah, that's when it's loud, isn't it? That's in third gear. Clutch in. Still doing it, isn't it?
Oh wow, okay.
I don't know if that's good news or bad news.
We just don't want to waste 2 days waiting for the garage to be open when we could be getting further north. But then, if we drive further north, are there not going to be any garages or definitely less garages to help us?
This is the real dilemma right now, isn't it? It's like, how serious is this issue?
How safe are we?
Yeah, can we continue driving? And is it going to make things worse if we continue? So it's like, do we stay put, but a garage isn't open till Monday? Or do we basically make the most of the driving we can do in the next 24 hours and then take it to a garage on Monday? But as Kit said, the higher up we go, it's probably going to be...
Basically, I think if I was on the outside looking in, I would say to us, just wait 2 days for a garage to open and get the problem sorted. But as it stands, we only have 10 days-ish in doing the things we want to do in Norway, because we need to be back down to Amsterdam for a date for a festival, which we could miss. But even after that, Lee has still got a wedding to shoot just a few days after. So
yeah,
that's obviously too important to cancel.
Yeah, I guess it's really just this.
So it's just cutting into Norway time.
Yeah, this first month of the trip really is the bit where we have more of a time threshold, isn't it?
Yeah,
really?
and after that we don't, but right now we do.
Yeah. Outtakes. Bloopers. Right.
Morning.
Morning. So
that's my coffee.
Just that's my coffee then. We just thought we'd jump on here.
No, don't say that. Hey guys, it's Nicole.
So, obviously we gave you a bit of an update previously about the sound the van was making. we were a bit quiet on socials yesterday, and
because we didn't know what to do about
Yeah.
the weird noise the van was making.
it's just caused us a bit of a dilemma, really. It's the proverbial fork in the road. We've spoke to a few people. We spoke to Kitt's dad, my dad, one of Kitt's friends who's a mechanic, just to try and gauge, based on what we can describe.
Yeah, should we get this fixed ASAP? Is it going to be a danger to us? Or can we just keep the car going all the way to Norway and then come back down and get it fixed in Germany, for example? How long is this thing going to last? Yeah, we've narrowed it down to maybe a wheel bearing, maybe gearbox, but probably not, because when we put the clutch down, the noise is still there.
I think the problem is it could be any one of a number of things, and
well, we don't know.
We are clutching at straws, really. I think.
Clutch.
Pun intended. The fact that we've been so set on getting to the Lofoten Islands.
Yeah.
But at this point, we are starting to consider another option, which is to basically cut out the Lofoten Islands and head to the fjords.
Which is half the distance from where we are right now.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's like 17 hours to the Lofoten Islands, which is where we really want to be, or it's only 9 hours to get to the fjords.
Yeah. So, I mean, potentially even more than that, really, to get to, the end of the Lofoten Islands.
Yeah,
We're looking at 20 plus hours.
We need to be back in Amsterdam in 3 weeks.
Obviously got to factor in driving time to get back to Helsingborg.
Yeah.
Which, if we were in the Lofoten Islands, could be 3 to 4 days, maybe even more.
But if we're in the fjords, it's more like 2 days.
Yeah. So.
Also, with how much the car might cost to repair, we'll save such a lot of money by going to the fjords instead of the Lofoten Islands on petrol. Yeah.
We're just now at a point of it's constantly playing on our minds, and if it is a gearbox issue, we know that it's going to be quite a hefty amount.
And it's more expensive if we have to fix it in Norway than Sweden.
I think we've landed on the decision. About half an hour from here is a garage. We're going to head there. Hopefully, they will just have a listen to it for us, jump in the van, maybe have a little drive.
Tell us what it is.
And they can give us more of an insight as to what the problem is and go from there, basically. I think that might further inform our decision of what we do next. But at the moment, we're going to leave you on a bit of a cliffhanger.
Dun, dun, dun.
So I think this is going to be a theme for the next part of our journey. Is our plans are constantly going to change and evolve, aren't they?
But we're learning to be fluid.
Yeah. So we've just checked a couple of garages that said on Google that they were open today. Neither of them are. But we've decided that we're going to press on and head to a city or town called Karlstad.
Which is on the way to the Norwegian fjord. We're getting closer at the same time, and there's also a lot more car mechanics round there if one was fully booked, so we've got a bigger choice of ones that will be able to see us in the morning.
There's quite a lot to do there, and there's a nice castle, so maybe we'll have actually a little bit of an explore for the first time since we've actually got on the road as well, and try and actually have a little bit of.
And even though we won't be making it to the Lofoten Islands, it seems, at least we'll get to see a little bit of Sweden as well, which is nice.
Yeah, which we'd never really planned for.
And actually find a nice park up as well, rather than stay at a service station. So that'll be nice.
I think that this is, as we're going to learn much more, I'm sure, like this is part of van life. Things are going to happen when you live on wheels, and you've got to roll with it, really, and stay fluid, as my dad would say.
Yeah, pros and cons.
Exactly, yeah. It's disappointing that we might not reach Lofoten Islands this time around, but that's not to say that we won't at all at some point, so we'll have to just keep the plan open, really.
They'll still be there next year.
Tuck into
some cheesy pasta.
It's the first meal we've cooked, really, isn't it? In the back of the van?
Actually on the cooker.
We've had like toast and stuff, but yeah, in terms of an actual meal, first one, and we've just arrived in Karlstad.
Which is not too far from Oslo really, but we're still in Sweden. Nice little park up where we'll probably stay for the night, and we're just gonna relax here for a little bit before we find some Wi-Fi in a cafe.
Peggy just parked up over there.
Look at her all being cute and stuff.
Little marina. So yeah, hopefully we're gonna get the car in somewhere first thing in the morning, but for now we're just gonna relax and have a little look around.
Who's this guy?
Hi guys, we got to a first garage at 7 o'clock this morning. Unfortunately, it seems their staff are just coming back from vacation. They had one mechanic in.
Bad timing.
Yeah, bad timing. So we were turned away, but he did give us a recommendation of a garage just down the road.
The second garage was really helpful. Although they couldn't fit us in to do the work for the same reason, everyone had just got back off vacation and they were fully booked for like 3 weeks. He came in the car, he listened to the noise, diagnosed it straight away as a wheel bearing, and also gave us some prices on what we can expect to pay to get it fixed.
We'd go to a third garage, and initially it seemed like we were going to have the same problem, but fortunately they had the cancellation this morning at 10 o'clock, so they were able to squeeze us in really quickly.
So lucky, so relieved.
It was also his first day back after vacation, so
he didn't look too happy to be there. We were happy to see him though.
Yeah, and we're just going to head back there now. So yeah, we've spent the last few hours in the coffee and
grabbing some Wi-Fi.
Yeah, and as you know, so far we kind of had the dilemma of what do we do now with the time that we've lost and the potential damage.
Is it still worth going to the Lofoten Islands, which is 20 odd hours away, and spending the extra money even though we're paying for the car to be fixed, or do we just kind of go to the fjords at this point, which is a lot closer? So we've been working that out and trying to decide what the best course of action is. Yeah, so we were really wrote everything down, the distances, times, worked out potential costs on fuel, and we have basically decided what we're going to do. But we're not actually going to reveal that just yet, so you're going to have to stay tuned and see where we end up, basically. Stay tuned. She's just coming into view now. How do you feel, Kit? Nervous, apprehensive. I hope she's fixed.
I hope it is. I hope it is the problem that we said it was and it's been sorted, but we're about to find out. Here we are, and the main thing you might notice is that we still don't have a van. We're a little bit embarrassed, but basically they couldn't find the locking wheel nut. I think in the moment of obviously getting in and being quite excited and basically just so relieved that we'd managed to get it in somewhere, like, we didn't think of it, he didn't think of it.
I've never heard of it before.
So they couldn't do the work. Like, literally, we've been sat around for 3 or 4 hours, got back, and they haven't been able to do it because they couldn't find the locking wheel nut. It was under the passenger seat, but it was ultimately buried under lots of stuff that we have in the van. And yeah, they did look, but they couldn't find it.
However,
yeah, Klaus, the guy that's the mechanic, he's
saved our arses.
He's an absolute legend, and he's offered to do the work after hours, basically. So it remains to be seen if we're going to get charged extra, but at this point we'd be really happy to, and the fact that he's even going to the length to squeeze us in today and do it after his working day, we're just really grateful for. So we're heading back out. We're going to go to Willie's, which we're reliably informed by Kit's friend Will, that who's been super helpful with messages. He
lives in Sweden, so he's been helping us with where to go, how to get certain things and what things cost.
Yeah, so apparently Willie's and Lidl are the 2 cheapest supermarkets, so we're going to put his word to the test.
It's good news, we're back on the road.